Hey guys, Thrasher here, and today we're talking about the OG Super Saiyan and Eternal Hater of Kakarot, Broly. How good is he? How do you use him? Which teams does he go on? We'll cover it all, right now. Okay, first things first, Broly is meant to be a tanky melee damage dealer. That's his job, so don't use him as a ranged unit, don't use him as a straight up tank. That's not what he's meant to do. Let's kind of take a look at his general stats in relation to other sparking units and give you a layout of sort of where he sits. So he has the second best health pool of all current sparking units in the game. So for all of these, I won't be counting the sparking units that we know about that are coming up in the near future. I'm just talking about what's currently in the game that you can play right now. He has the second best health pool. He is tied with Piccolo. The only unit that has more health is Sparking Piccolo. He's got the best strike attack in the game by a mile. He hits like a monster truck if he's doing melee damage. He has one of the worst blast attacks in the game, so don't really use his blast, although he does have some abilities that are going to help buff it, and it won't hit like he's, throwing pillows at you, but he is meant to do strike damage, and that's what you should be using him for. He is very tanky, but he is not a tank. He's just a very durable unit. His strike and blast defense are good, but they're still a little bit lower than Piccolo, Spirit Bomb Goku, who are themselves not full-on tanks like Piccolo, and then Piccolo's blast and strike defense are miles ahead. So he's a generally durable unit that is meant to counter Goku specifically, but he works in a lot of situations. So let's go through his abilities and we can better understand how he works and what teams he'll work on. So if we go over to abilities here, we see a few different things. His main ability is a pretty standard, it summons a stronger special move. It works just like Super Saiyan Goku. You pull this gigantic meteor, it does a ton of damage. He's blue, so if you hit a red unit with it, it'll almost one-shot them a lot of the time. It does like 70%, 80% of their health. His Z ability is actually built to give him a little more defense against ranged units. Because he's a melee unit, he's sort of open to a lot of ranged attacks. And this also gives a lot of ranged defense to Piccolo, who complements him fairly well now. So this sort of brings Piccolo back into the meta. And then the two other things, this makes him a hard counter to any Goku character. So any Goku character that you're using, you're going to get a massive strike damage increase on your already massive strike damage when you're hitting a Goku. So Super Saiyan Goku, who is going to have, you're going to be doing a ton of strike damage, you're going to be doing 20% more strike damage because he's a Goku, and Super Saiyan Broly has type advantage over Super Saiyan Goku, so you will roll through him super fast. Now, here is the unique ability that most people don't understand. This is the most confusing unique ability probably in the game right now. So a lot of people read this, cause enemy to have minus 15% key recovery for 15 timer counts every time character enters the battlefield. So a lot of people think what that means is when Broly's on the battlefield, anytime a character enters, they get a reduction of key recovery by 15% for 15 timer counts. That is not what this means. What this means is when Broly enters the battlefield, your opponent, just when Broly enters the battlefield, will get minus 15% key recovery for 15 timer counts. So it's not the other way around. Keep that in mind. So if you need to slow someone's key recovery down, you can bring Broly out. So the last thing we really need to talk about is where Broly fits on teams and where he fits in the meta. So Super Saiyan Broly fits on quite a few different teams. He fits on the General Saiyan team, so you run Sparking Vegeta, Sparking Broly, and then a lot of people like to run Spirit Bomb Goku as their third option, so that way they have two semi-tanky units, and then they've got Vegeta, who can be their ranged unit that can't take a lot of damage. Or you can go the variant route where you've got your two Saiyans and then Piccolo. So you've got Sparking Vegeta, Sparking Broly, and then Piccolo is your non-Saiyan unit, but because his stats are so great in the tank area, he doesn't really need the buffs of all the other Saiyan Z abilities. The other option that I think is probably the best bet because it counters the normal All-Saiyan team so hard. The standard All-Saiyan team that you see right now is Super Saiyan Goku, Sparking Vegeta, and Sparking Spirit Bomb Goku. You can directly counter that by running Sparking Piccolo, Sparking Broly, and Sparking Piccolo. Piccolo is your straight-up tank. Broly and Piccolo synergize extremely well because they are both this right here, sagas from movies, so they get large blast defense increase. They both do a ton of melee damage, and they are direct counters. So Piccolo counters Vegeta, Broly counters Super Saiyan Goku, and then Piccolo counters Spirit Bomb Goku. So it's a perfect synergistic counter to the main team in the game in PvP right now. Outside of that, Broly stands very well on his own. You can throw him on pretty much any team and he will work. Maybe not quite as synergistically, but he's a great unit. So then the next question is, where does he sit in the meta? In my opinion, Broly is the best character in the game right now. And the only other two units that sort of stand even close to him are Piccolo, for obvious reasons. He's the best tank. He can heal your team. And then Vegeta, just because he's the best range damage dealer in the game. But I think that Broly is considerably ahead of the other units in the game right now. As far as long term, I think Broly will stick around for quite a while just because he has that direct built-in Goku counter. So even if you have a great Goku unit that comes out in the next couple months, which we will because it's Goku, so we're going to get 1 million Goku cards, this Broly should be able to stand up to him fairly well because of this very specific Goku counter right here. And that's really all there is to sparking Broly. If you guys have any questions, throw them down in the comments. If you like this content, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.